on 24 volts of battery. The races last for an hour and consist of one pit stop and one driver change. At the end, whichever team has gone the farthest wins. This is an M1A1 Abram tank. Right now, I'm standing in the tank commander's position.
This is a foxhole. Soldiers dig a hole in the ground and then cover themselves with camouflage nets.
Law enforcement officers enter here. Contaminated clothes are then placed in a bag and passed out through this opening. After a quick shower, officers then change into clean scrubs. Officers then go to the nearest medical center to make sure that they are okay.
Ever since I can remember.
The winner of the contest is determined by who can sound and look the most like a chicken. Kids got the chance to pet the llamas and hold the pigs. By the time the storm was over, it caused major damage. So much that I had trouble even finding the town. I knew that I was close because I was on Highway 35. Yet I still missed my turn because the 15-foot town sign had been blown down. The Locks say they are lucky to be alive considering the damage done to their Honda Goldwing. This broken mirror is only a small part of the damage done to the front of the motorcycle. The accident even caused this steel foot pedal to break off.
We made boxes and everything that we could put the sand or kitty litter in. And then we throw the paint on top, mix it up, make sure it gets dry.
The mixture is then put in buckets and boxes, which are placed into this skid loader, hauled off, and thrown away. This is the current student center. It's about 6,400 square feet. The new one will be over 11,000. The Army National Guard is back in training. For 2 weeks this summer at Camp Ripley, Minnesota.
So these 2 weeks is our opportunity to get together and really focus and have the majority of our squadron at one place at one time and do what we call collective training. All the pieces together.
Richard Johnson is a lieutenant colonel in Sioux City's 113th Cavalry. On the battlefield, it's their job to let the troops behind them know what they're up against.
We have cavalry scouts. We have a lot of vehicles that go ahead. We have a lot of weapons, tanks. A lot of highly mobile, a lot of wheeled vehicles, some tracked vehicles that just go out there, scouts, a lot of different elements to make sure that everyone down the line knows what's coming at them.
To keep troops supplied and ready to fight, you turn to Private Andre Othier. He's an intelligence officer for the headquarters and support unit.
We're focusing primarily on the reconnaissance aspect of it, utilizing communications between our air, our ground, our tanks, mortars, artillery, medics, and engineers.
And there's a lot to do. Within each unit are air and ground forces.
This is a foxhole. Soldiers dig a hole in the ground and then cover themselves with camouflage nets. These were commonly used by the ground troops in the war on Iraq.
Also standard issue for these Sioux Cityans, weapons like this M60. Or maybe armored vehicles like these tanks. This is an M1A1 Abram tank. Right now, I'm standing in the tank commander's position. They can weigh up to 72 tons, but still reach speeds of 42 miles per hour. The tank's barrel is 120 millimeters through bore, which can fire shells 3 to 4 miles at about 3,600 miles per hour. But ground forces need someone to watch their back. That's where Captain John Martin comes in.
We support the ground units, and we're out in front of the ground units providing them mission analysis and eyes and ears, once again providing them all the information of what's ahead of them, terrain to expect, any obstacles in their way that might hamper what their mission is in the squadron.
Right now, pilots fly OH-58 Charlies. but they'll upgrade to Apache attack helicopters next year.
These are the aircraft we use that allow us to keep up our piloting skills and to still do mission training and do radio training with the modern equipment that we have.
When the 2 weeks of training are over, all of these pieces come together to protect one thing: us.
Some Siouxland students have the need for speed.
They do indeed. News Channel 4's John Foss takes us to Bancroft, Nebraska to show us what it takes to lead the pack in power racing.
Bancroft Rosalie High Schoolers are state champions in power driving.
On your mark. Get set. Go!
And they're off. For the second year, students in this power drive class competed against high schools and colleges in a car they built themselves.
And what the students have to do is build and design a power drive car, which is a car that races for 1 hour on 24 volts of battery.
The races last for an hour and consist of one pit stop and one driver change. At the end, whichever team has gone the farthest wins. Bancroft Rosalie was that winning team in 5 of the 6 races they entered, including the state championship.
So we're in first, so just got to conserve and get the win. And I was the first car across the line, and they're waving the checker flag, so I drove another lap, victory lap.
The teacher says the championship has had a big impact.
And I think it's really meant a lot to the community and the school in general. We had so much support for the car, and the students have put in so much hard work that it really has paid off.
And the team has a message for next year's competition.
Watch out, because we'll still be there.
But we're definitely looking for a repeat.
Bring it on!
In Bancroft, Nebraska, John Foss, KTIV, News Channel 4.
Students race a fiberglass car and an aluminum car in their competitions.